We are here today. I'm Rich Rogers, founder of Startup Tech Law and now StartLegal.com. Startup Tech Law is the law firm that I started a few years ago. And Start Legal was built over the last year, honestly, as a labor of love for my clients. I started this platform as a way to help my clients that I saw are bootstrapped, have issues with fundraising, issues understanding what to do when they get their company started. And the idea was to build a platform that I know that if I was still a founder, I would use. And it kind of took on a life of its own in the last year. We started adding more features. We started hearing feedback from my clients on what they needed, what more they wanted out of their software. I can tell you I think we now have about 100 plus accounts on this that are using it. The feedback has been pretty incredible. The first, year we've been in beta running this thing, and beyond that, we hear that my companies that our clients are using it are saving anywhere from $300 to $400 from other software. I know once you've reached $1 million in funding, you need over 25 shareholders. You could be spending $300 to $400 a month for such a similar cap table. It doesn't give you all of the AI tools that we give. That could be another $100 or $200. So the idea was to create a platform that's really all in one, that's not disjointed, but would be something that a founder could use from day one, from getting incorporated, all the way through to funding to exit. So I'm going to run into some of the things. I'm going to show you some of the things that we can do and run a demo of Start Legal. But I want to talk about what are some of the key things that we do when we build a company and look to get investor ready. One of the things that we have to look at is, one, are you incorporated? Do you have a C Corp? We recommend Delaware C Corps, but we do get a lot of clients that come in from other platforms that use an LLC, which might be good for a little while, but if you're going to sell shares in the company, if you're going to get institutional investors in particular, you need to have a C Corp. So we wanted to build in our platform the ability to, yes, you can get an LLC in any state, and you can also get incorporated in Delaware, preferably. And with that, get established the right way. So when we say that, it means having the right pool of shares for founders, for an ESOP. Investors will want to see that you have an ESOP that's set aside. Before we saw higher numbers, now we're seeing anywhere from 10 to 12%, depending. We also have an advisor pool, bonus pool. So we help figure out what is the share pool that you need. With that comes the responsibility of putting it into a cap table. Back a long time ago, it was done through spreadsheets. Then other software tools have come out to help you manage that. And they do get a little complicated and they do get expensive. So what we've done is built in a tool for that. But once you get established, once you get your company off the ground, you're going to need a guide, someone to help you through that journey. And the idea would be to create a sort of virtual digital AI that could assist you with any questions you may have, help you with template drafting of contracts and agreements, because again, founders don't have time or money, so we know that. And this entire project started to grow and grow over the last year. And the idea was now at this point to take it to market. We've had great feedback and we're going to keep building it and making it better. So what we want to do is show you how to use it. But what I also want to do is get into a little bit more of the reason why certain things are within this one platform. So as you start your company, you get incorporated, you're going to put your documents into a data room. You probably will hear from investors, please share your data room with me. We'll also hear from investors that they want to see your pitch deck. So where do you put your pitch deck? We have investor manager tools that usually were spreadsheets. It gets complicated. Founders don't usually update their investors enough. And sometimes you lose track of the investors that were interested in you a year or two and now might be ready. So all of the things that we've built within Start Legal started with real world experience of what I know you'll need on your journey. So let me start. I'm going to share my screen with you on Start Legal. So here we have on StartLegal.com. You can come in. set up an account. We have different accounts that are free, that are paid, unpaid, and different levels based on where you are. Within StartLegal, it is truly the only startup platform that you need. You can get incorporated. You can add and manage your pitch decks, share them with investors, build a cap table, manage a cap table. We'll go through that in a little bit. You can work on your fundraising. So we've built an investor manager to track your investors, to build a list of investors for you to go out and introduce your company to. We do brand protection through trademarks and a trademark manager, keeping you up to date with what's happening with your trademark on the USPTO. Sometimes it takes 8 to 9 months or even longer. And we've built in what I call JurisDoctor AI. And this is a really powerful tool that is getting started right now to help founders that will provide our templates. It will do a document review for you. So if you do need an NDA drafted, you don't have to search the web and try to find one. And definitely do not use one that is generated or built by ChatGPT. We make it easy, and we're going to keep adding on to this to make it even better for our founders. But from day one, you can go in here, you can start and create a company. The platform that we have has 3 different account tiers. One is what everyone is usually starting out with, is a free tier. Kick the tires, see if you like it. With that, we give you 10 chats a month on AI. We do have other tools in here like Investor Manager, Incorporation Service, Trademark, a safe builder, a term sheet builder. But as you start to grow your startup, there's other things that you'll need. So with our growth plan, which is $99 a month, we have 100 chats using the AI tool. We have a discount on pitch deck design services if you want to do that. We have a cap table for up to 5 shareholders. This is everything that you're going to need at that, usually that pre-seed level. Once you get it to maybe seed and beyond, you're probably looking at more of the accelerated plan, which is $199. And what it does is increases the tools that you have at your disposal. Shareholders, AI tools, more AI options available for you. So once you set up an account, you log in, and the first thing that you see is the dashboard. This dashboard is sort of a welcome to StartLegal. Within that, you can see that there's a founder wall. This is our mini founder wall. You can see what other founders are saying, introducing themselves to you. You can see at a quick glance where some events are that month, and also latest news and announcements from us. So if there's a big investor meeting, investor conference, or a startup event, or a new feature coming out, we will tell you. So what I want to do is get right into it. So first thing we do, we can start with getting you incorporated. So here, click on Start a Company, choose the state that you want to open up your entity in, choose your LLC or C Corp, and you want to give it a name. Let's just go with StartLegal. Hit that, go step by step, and place your order for incorporation. We literally will get it done that day. The packages that we offer are from basic all the way up to a startup law firm package with all the documents that you need in that, with a lawyer working with you on your bylaws, your restricted stock purchase agreements, your board consents, basically everything that you're going to need to get started. So now that you've got your company set up, the next step is, well, I think what we have to do is figure out how we're going to open up your data room. You've got your founders agreement with your stock purchases, you've got your bylaws. We've built a data room that lets you put all of your files in one place securely. And within that, you can see here's a couple of sample agreements in that. It lets you view the agreement. What will happen is you can click on it, you can share it with your investors if you wanted to, and it's a great place to organize everything in one place. And you will be asked on this journey from an investor, where can I see your data room? This is the way to do it. Once you've put your files in there, you can just double click on any of the folders that you want to share, such as advisor agreements, cap tables, trademark reports, board resolutions, and then you can even put a password on that link, and then you can share that with the investor directly. So you know that no one else will be able to see that except for that person. And you have full control over what folders you're sharing with that investor. So now that you've got your data room set up, that's a key thing. A lot of times founders don't know where to start on that. they share OneDrives or they share Dropbox folders. And you open up a whole can of worms, because I've seen it where in a Dropbox share, you've got other sensitive data and folders and files that you don't want to share with someone, like version 2 of your pitch deck, for example. These are ways that you can prevent mistakes like that from happening. So now you've got your company set up. You're now moving forward. You've got your data room set up. And we're going to move into, okay, we've got a fundraise. First thing we do is we build a pitch deck manager for you that lets you upload your pitch deck, whether it's PowerPoint or PDF. And from there, you can view the deck. It creates like a mini sort of microsite for your pitch deck. You can scroll through each of the pages. From there, you have an overview of your company and the ability, if you shared it publicly, you could also then have others contact you directly from that, other investors. So the pitch deck is, the pitch deck manager is interesting because I've always had, we've shared pitch decks with different investors, and we always wondered, did they look at it? Well, now we've built in the ability to look and see the analytics. This is a new one just uploaded, so you can see how many people have looked at it over time and get the analytics of maybe which investors may have not looked at it. You can share different versions of your pitch deck. With that, you may have one version that's in February, but by June, things have changed and you want to update that. You can upload multiple versions of your pitch deck. So now you got a pitch deck manager. What are you going to do with it? Well, you want to share it. So that link that I showed you for your pitch deck microsite, I guess, that is something that you can just click share, and it will share it with the investor. You email it directly out to them, and they'll be able to view it right on your StartLegal page. The key thing about that is, especially if you're sharing pitch decks through LinkedIn, you want to make sure that if you're an investor, that you're not opening up any links that are potentially dangerous. If it's coming from a secure site like StartLegal, it has more, hopefully they'll have more confidence in opening that link. And that also then gives them only the pitch decks that you want them to see, just like in the data room. So moving on, as we have now a company set up, we have a data room set up, we're now sending out our pitch decks to investors. You want to manage that investor list. And we've built a really great investor manager tool, kind of like a CRM for investors. This is really great because, again, back when I was doing this, we were all using spreadsheets and hoping that it would work. What we did was we've built in a potential investor list here. So if you're in, let's say you're in a seed round or a pre-seed round, you can designate that within your potential investor list. You can make as many lists as you need. Once you do that, you can populate the list of investors that you want to reach out to in that round and those that you've made contact with. You can update what stage they're at, if you have a meeting scheduled, if they've declined, or maybe they said that they're just not interested now, but let us know about the next round. This lets you make notes for each of the investors that you've reached out to, all within one place. And round by round, you will be able to save those investors. We can also help you if you have a list of investors, if you are building a list of investors, to populate that within just this investor manager. So now you've got a list of investors. I also want to show you, assuming that you've already had capital, you've raised capital, you've got investors, you can go into the current investor section. Within that, you can add how much they've put in, what round they've put their money in, what type of investment, a safe, a convertible note. And the cool thing that we've built in to help our founders, again, is an AI writing tool. So you can answer a number of questions about each month or each quarter about what's happened within your funding, with the milestones, or did you make any new hires? Were there any media coverage or tech event? These are all things that you should be updating your investor on anyway. Now you can go ahead and do that. Click Generate with AI, and the AI will write the letter for you. Of course, you can proofread it, review it, and then it will send it out to the list of investors that you've designated within your current investor list. So you need to stay in touch with your investors. They need to see from your progress and how you're doing. The worst thing you can have is an investor ask, "What's going on? Where's my money? And how's it being used?" Stay in touch with your investors. This is an easy way to do that. Okay. Well, now that you've built your investor list and you're reaching out to investors, the next thing that we wanted to build was what happens next. Next stage is your term sheet. So we're building and have built a term sheet builder for you. This is an easy way to get the ball rolling. Before you get to the safe agreement, convertible note, or priced round, you need to build a term sheet. So the term sheet builder, click on the top right to create a term sheet. I'll use one that we already have. Let me use this one. It will walk you through a series of questions. And within that, whoops, there we go. It will walk you through a series of questions, and you will be asked investor information, their name, their address. These are all things that will be shared with the investor. You'll have an investment summary. You will put down if there's any shared rights and preferences, if there's a dividend, maybe you're going to give a board seat. That will also be part of this. You can designate if the investor in this round will get a board seat or not, how many board seats there are total, and if it's a convertible note. In the beginning, you'll be asked, is it a safe convertible note priced round? You can designate convertible note. And in this example here, you can put down what the discount rate is or evaluation cap, what the interest rate could be. All of this is available for you to update and to change. Once you've done that, assuming that you've gone through all the steps, it will also notify you if you forgot something. In this case, forgot the company name and address. So that's going to be something I need to take care of. I'll go back and do that. But assuming it all is good, you will then get to the bottom and have the option then to print it as a PDF or a Word document, send it to your investor, and even get a digital signature for it if you have a DocuSign or Adobe Sign, or just in-person wet signatures. The term sheet builder you can use for every single investor that you have now and in the future, and keep it all within one place. Once you do get the investment, the next thing is, what do we do? Well, assuming that you're a seed, pre-seed company, 95% of the deals done now are done through a safe agreement. Safe agreement, it punts on the valuation, so you don't need to have a price per share today, which may get you in trouble later. And it makes it really easy because it was designed years back with Y Combinator to make it so that investors understand the terms because they're pretty much uniform, and founders don't have to spend a lot of money on lawyer fees. I'm all for that, even though I'm a lawyer. So we've built a safe builder. In that, you can create a new safe agreement. You can start out by answering whether it's a discount safe or whether it is a post-money valuation. Now, the post-money valuation cap safes are the ones that are typically used the most. And then again, our wizard will walk you through step by step on what that looks like. And at the end, you will see within the document preview the actual safe agreement, your name, the investor's name, and you can export that as a PDF for signature. You can save and download that. And the other thing we have is the ability now to add this automatically to the next step, which is your cap table. The cap table, if you designate this, will show the safe agreements from each of the investors. So segue into the cap builder. Okay, so your cap table, this is a easy to use cap table. The idea behind this from day one, and I personally spent a lot of time on the UI of this, is to make sure that you understand it and you can manage it without experts that need to come in and lawyers and whoever. This is something that I think every founder would have a very easy time building and managing by themselves. I can tell you that a number of my founders are already using this, replacing other tools that are a lot more expensive, and with cap tables of 30 plus shareholders even, that have already gone through the the early stage, pre-seed and seed, and have moved into price rounds, have in equity incentive plans for employees. All of that can be done. But at the early stage, the companies that are using this are pretty much going to be pre-seed and seed companies. It's incredibly easy to do it. All you have to do is, I'll show you, manage a cap table by adding your company name, adding the authorized shares, the par value, who is the secretary and the president, total authorized shares. Now you can build a share class, multiple share classes. As you get a bit further on in the journey, you might have multiple share classes, but let's just say for now it's just common. You could have additional share pools within that. So we see here that you've got founder share pool, you've got total authorized, total shares that are allocated for founders of 8 million, ESOP, which could be set here as designated as a set aside, and 10% of your company, or 10 million, or 1 million. You've got an advisor bonus pool, which also would be 10% of the company, or 1 million shares. As you hit next, add your shareholders, add the number of shares that they have, and with that, you can also designate whether there's a vesting schedule. So you can go in here and do a standard 4-year, 1-year cliff. You can customize it. So let's just say that you do have a initial share of 5% up front. You can designate, I'll just put some numbers in here, whoops, whatever total that would be, and vesting start date, the cliff date, and the vesting end date. Once you save that, it will show up within your cap table, which I'll go back to. And you will see each of the shareholders. You can see exactly how many share pools you have, how much are in those share pools, a quick at a glance at the top. And your cap table will show how many shares are in your advisory pool, how many shares are in the founder pool, and each of the shareholders that are in each of those pools. The other cool thing about that is once they've gotten their shares, and you can see them whether they're vested or unvested. Once those vesting cliff dates happen, or if it's a monthly vesting, you will see those shares vest in the cap table, and you'll get an accurate number of how many shares have been vested and unvested that are still available. Within that, we've also added a stock certificate. So you can get a stock certificate with your company name on it. You can print that out and provide that to each of the individual investors or shareholders. Now back to the cap table with safe agreements. One of the things we had was a convertible securities area within the cap table. That is easy because now once you've built the safe, I'm going to go back here to the safe agreement. You have the ability to choose whether that is a draft, whether you sent the safe, whether they've signed it, or whether they funded it. Once they've funded the safe agreement, again, it's signed and it's funded, that safe agreement will then show up within your cap table down here as a convertible security. Let me zoom in on that right there. That status of funded unlocks that. So now you can keep track of those safe agreements and safe investors within your cap table. All right. So once you've gone through, you've got your company set up, you got your data room, investor manager, you've got your pitch decks out, your pitch deck manager, sharing your pitch decks. There's other things that you're going to need. You've got your term sheet, you've got your safe builder, and you're updating hopefully your investors once they funded it. There's some other things you're going to want, and we've put into our platform, one of which is JurisDoctor AI. You're now looking to build and grow your company out. So what we have, let me open it up. This is a virtual AI startup lawyer in a lot of ways. It doesn't provide legal advice, but just information. And I've personally gone through and trained it on, 600 plus questions over the last year. Questions that I know that I've asked even as a lawyer to my startup lawyers. And I know that these are questions that a lot of startup founders need answers to. We provide the legal information on many different topics that are important. So you can go in here, you can ask questions and get real legal information back, written and are drafted by a lawyer. So we have three options. You click New Conversation, and you've got AI Lawyer, so you can ask a question, you can draft a template agreement. We have a number of agreements in here, and that library is building. So if you need an NDA, employment agreement, independent contractor agreement, you name it, we will have the core agreements that most of these startups we work with need in the early stages. You don't have to go out and use GPT, which is honestly not worth it, or any of the other AI tools that are out there that may hallucinate. We've stocked these with agreements that were drafted by lawyers that have clauses that are what you need. Let me put it that way. I see a lot of garbage coming in from AI tools, and the contracts that we see are just not valid. They have sections and clauses that invalidate each other, that conflict with each other. They're not drafted in a way that if you do have due diligence, for example, or God forbid you have to go to court over this, that it may ever hold up. We really caution about that. So we've built the library with our own contracts, our own templates. The other thing we have is a document review. So you can upload a document. It's a first draft review it's trained by legal document review training that I've put in there over the last year. It will review what you need to know from a very high level. You can answer which party you are. You can tell it how to be reviewing this document, whether you want it to be aggressive or just moderate, and it will redline and make suggested changes and clauses to the contract and comments on the side. So you will have some bit of an explanation on why certain things might need to be changed. Take that to your lawyer. We still recommend a lawyer should be looking at this and reviewing it with you, especially documents that are very important and could maybe potentially set you up for failure if it's done wrong. So it's a good first step to understand it. On the AI lawyer side, you can ask questions. I've asked one here. How many shares do co-founders get? And the answers will come back to you. You get credits every month, depending on what tier you're at, whether you're free, whether you're growth or the accelerator plan. And that just gives you more ability to unlock more contracts, document reviews, and questions to ask of the AI. So now you're building your business, you're growing it. One of the things we have is member perks. And within that, you can see different member perks. We're growing this out. We have a number of new preferred partners that are coming on board, banks and HR and you name it. We've got marketing PR agencies, we've got a law firm, we've got payroll companies, we've got AWS. These are offers that are, in many cases, exclusive only to our members. These are not things that you will find on affiliate sites, for example. But these are special offers for you being a member of StartLegal. So member perks are a great thing. Hopefully, the idea is to save you money. The next thing we have are events. We've populated this and are still populating it with, I believe, over 1,500 startup events worldwide. You can go into this and choose which location that you are in. Let's say that you're flying to Miami that week. You can see if there are any startup events there. You can see your own hometown, and you can also add an event as well. So if you want to do a breakfast roundtable or a happy hour, founder cocktail, go ahead and add that in, and all of the founders that are part of StartLegal will see it, but also you can share it with your friends as well in the startup community where you're at. If you do see that there's an event that you want to go to, just click on it and it will open up the page and take you to the registration page for that particular event. And it's a good way to see what's happening around you. I love to go to startup events, and I think especially as I travel to different cities, I love to see other founders and learn about what they're doing and what's happening within those towns. So next part, to stay in touch with other founders. One of the things I've added was the ability to go in here and communicate and post announcements, meet other founders that are part of the StartLegal family, I guess you could call it. You can post anything within this founder wall, and only those members and other founders will be able to see it, respond to it, like it, and get to know you as well. They can see your profile, they can learn about you, get a link to your LinkedIn page. And it's just a good way that hopefully we can build this out and other founders will be able to network amongst themselves and maybe help each other out in some way. All right, so now we're moving on. Your company's growing. You might want to think about QSBS certification. QSBS certification, it lets you, after 3 to 5 years, especially after 5 years, get a tremendous tax benefit if you do sell your company. And when you sell your company, you want to keep that money. So the way that this will work is, one, you have to go through an attestation. You have to have under 50 million in assets. So with that, you're going to need a QSBS certification. We do an annual attestation every year, and we'll walk you through the steps of how to achieve that tax benefit as well. And that's part of the StartLegal offering. Now you are looking at going to market, you've started your company. I highly recommend for clients to look at getting a trademark early. It's almost more important for founders and startups to make sure that you are not going to be sued because your brand has not started yet. There's nothing to really protect yet, except for I don't want an Amazon or someone else who has a trademark to come after you and sue you. Or you can get to a situation where a year or two into it, you didn't register a trademark, you did not search for the trademark, you just use the brand. Well, someone else can come after you and try to shut you down and stop doing what you're doing because they already have the registered trademark. So we start a lot of founders early before they're even in market with an in-use trademark. We do actually a trademark registration for them that is intent to use. An intent to use trademark basically means I'm planting a flag today and I intend to use it within the next year or so. And it prevents anyone else from coming along and using that name. Especially in AI lately, there's a lot of names that are popping up, and there's a lot of companies that will see that there's marks being used, and they will create an AI version of it, register a trademark, and potentially shut you down from ever using that name because they came into market first and applied for the registration before you did, before you even got off the ground or built any lines of code yet. So I highly recommend putting an intent to use in place, doing the search in advance so we know that we can get the clearance for you. And if we can do that, we sit back and we wait for about a year. Honestly, it takes a while with USPTO, but we will then guide you through every step. First step is doing a trademark search. We've built in an AI tool that will help identify the classes that you should be registering in or potentially registering in. It should still be reviewed by a trademark attorney. And if you go through the process, once we have your order, if you were to order a trademark, we will explain to you, a trademark attorney will contact you and explain to you what the fees are. We do have the AI tool explain what fees are. And then from there, we will have all of this built within our trademark manager. So you can designate the trademark lawyer as your lawyer for your trademarks within StartLegal. They can access this and upload your report. So as you get your first trademark search report, you could add it here. As you get office actions from the trademark office, this would be the place that you would find it. And assuming that everything goes very smoothly, you'll go into this and see your trademark successful. And there are different stages. There's a opposition publication stage. There's the time that you actually get your PDF of your trademark. All of that can be put within this. And then again, back to your data room. Add that into your trademark report right here. Share it with your investors. Go back to your investor manager. Share that with them. Provide the update that your trademark has been successful. It's a great asset, and it's something that you definitely should do. The last thing we have is something new. We're going to be adding video tutorials, and we also now have a new support option. And for right now, we have ChatGPT actually running our support. So you can go in here and it will help you with any startup questions or any reviews of, any support needs for StartLegal and answer the questions for you. So if you run into any issues or problems with building a cap table or your investor manager, again, it's very easy, but if you do, we do have support for that as well. I think that pretty much ends our presentation today. If you do go to StartLegal.com, I encourage you to sign up for a free account at least. And if you do have a company that's starting, this is the tool that you really need. I'm really proud of the development team that we've had and everything that we've put together for the last year. I hope it really helps your company, and we're always here to support you. So, thank you, and good luck.